Welcome to South First. I'm Anusha Ravi Sood, and you are watching State of Play, our weekly roundup of what is happening as far as politics and policy is concerned in the southern states. On this episode, we talk about the UGC, its draft guidelines, and the opposition from southern states. But it's not just about the states. This episode is about a larger question. Is it time for education to be moved back to the state list from the concurrent list? Welcome to the show. The BJP is absolutely right when it says the emergency was the darkest period for Indian democracy. A lot of changes were made during emergency under the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's regime. One of those changes, through the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, was shifting education from the state list to the concurrent list. As many of you know, there are three different kinds of administrative lists that entrust different responsibilities to the state and the central governments. There is a central list where defense, railways, etc. fall under. There is the state list where health, education was also previously under the state list, and then there is a concurrent list where both the center and the state are considered stakeholders. Education, which was with the state list or which was under the state list, was moved to the concurrent list. Decades have now passed. Every opportunity it gets, the BJP lashes out at the Congress, especially the Gandhi family, criticizing them for the emergency and the kind of quelling of dissent, administrative power that was shown in overriding all set precedents to make changes. However, even after 10 plus years in office, hoping to clear another term, that means 15 years in power, the BJP, it seems, is only happy with criticizing the emergency and not doing anything about righting the wrongs. Third time in office, the Narendra Modi government has all the power it needs to bring back education from the concurrent list to the state list. In fact, several state governments are demanding exactly this. However, it seems irrespective of which party is in power, the union government does not want to let up any opportunity to centralize more and more things and challenge states' autonomy. The latest example for this is the Draft UGC Guidelines. It is not without reasons that chief ministers of several states, especially the southern states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana chief minister even, Kerala has passed a resolution, except Andhra Pradesh, where the BJP is part of the government. Chandrababu Naidu's TDP-led government has BJP as an ally. Except Andhra Pradesh, all southern states have voiced their concerns, opposed the draft UGC guidelines, and have insisted that the union government should withdraw them. Why? The whole contention primarily boils down to two things. One, the process of appointing vice chancellors to universities and the proposal to hold entrance exams for UG and PG courses and changing the nature of courses that are being offered. Until now, the vice chancellor for any university was appointed by the governor but selected from a panel of 3 names recommended to the governor, who's also the chancellor of universities, through a committee set up by the state government. The state government's committee would also include a person, a nominee made by the governor/chancellor himself. Out of the 3 names that the panel gives, governor was to choose a VC. Now here's what the new draft guidelines say. The new draft guidelines categorically diminishes the state's role. In fact, throws the state's role out the window and vests all the power to not just appoint a chancellor, but also form the committee to choose candidates for the VC's post, all with the governor. And this comes at a time when several states, especially opposition-ruled states, have been constantly in a state of tussle with governors. Take Tamil Nadu, for example. Kerala, until previously Arif Mohammed Khan was the governor. Even in Karnataka, where the governor's office has been accused of being a political tool. That is not just it. Even the process of electing a VC, or rather the eligibility to elect a VC, has been expanded to include people who are non-academics. Anybody who has made a name in any other field than academia can now also be eligible. It seems this union government has some strange love for lateral entry, whether it is in services and now According to the draft guidelines of the UGC, even in academia, anybody can be a VC as long as they make the cut to what the union government and the University Grants Commission feels is eligible enough, whether they are a teacher, professor, academic, or not. Even to choose a Montessori teacher, we thoroughly check their CV, see if they are trained in imparting education, handling children of that age. For professors, we have an exam to check their eligibility, their capacity to teach. There are B.Ed courses exclusively to ensure that our teachers are of some wonderful quality. But here is an amendment or a change, rather a draft in the guideline that says you don't need to be an academic to be a vice chancellor. The changes or the draft guidelines under the University Grants Commission given to states, of course, the call is now for suggestions, objections, etc. These drafts have seen opposition from chief ministers of several southern states. Let's talk about the latest chief minister to raise his voice against this, Telangana's chief minister Revanth Reddy, who called this a cultural assault because he understands that an education institution is not just imparting education but becomes a knowledge center for your future generations, shaping their understanding of the world. Revanth Reddy insists that if the union government is allowed to be the final authority on appointment of VCs, universities will turn into platforms of divisive, toxic ideologies. Although the guidelines, the draft guidelines of UGC insist that it is the governor who's going to be the final say or the only authority in appointing a VC, the governor himself is appointed by the president through the recommendation of the union government. Kerala and Tamil Nadu have passed resolutions against the UGC's draft guidelines, compelling or urging the union government to withdraw them immediately. In a unanimous resolution that was adopted in the Kerala Assembly, the state highlighted that setting up universities, running them, should constitutionally be under the state governments. Kerala's Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan called this an attack on federalism, pointing to how successive decisions by the union government have been repeatedly attacking the federal nature of the political setup in the country. Karnataka's Chief Minister Siddaramaiah highlighted another point. He pointed to how the call for interviews for VC post, according to the new draft guidelines, have to be put in national newspapers. So far, the state governments would look for eligible candidates, call for interviews of eligible candidates from within the state. Now, this opens up the vacancy for people from outside Karnataka as well, which means any person who does not have the understanding of how one particular state's education system works can be appointed as the VC for any university. He called this an anti-Kannadiga move. But it all started with Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's call for a united fight against the UGC's draft guidelines. Tamil Nadu was the first state to adopt a resolution against these draft guidelines, and M.K. Stalin wrote to chief ministers of all other states demanding, urging that they come together to fight against these draft guidelines. He highlighted two major concerns. The first one, pretty similar to all other states, that the entire power of electing or choosing or appointing a VC will now lie entirely with the governor. Tamil Nadu, let's remember, has a long-standing tussle with its governor, especially over appointments of VCs to several universities. Tamil Nadu has opposed this centralization of power with the governor. The other point that M.K. Stalin highlighted and condemned was the unnecessary, that's how he described it, the unnecessary proposal to have entrance exams to PG and UG courses. The insistence on entrance exam to UG and PG courses raises a bigger concerning question. Whenever there is an entrance exam, there is automatically the pressure of coaching centers. Several children we see every year dying by suicide, unable to handle the pressure of coaching classes. Entrance exams put undue pressure on children, especially those from marginalized communities who cannot access coaching classes. Inadvertently, the victims of the entrance exam coaching classes vicious cycle are people, families that are economically, socially, educationally, sometimes even geographically challenged. Education is supposed to be a great equalizer. For crores of Indian middle class and poor families, education is the only wealth they can give their children, with the hopes that they will make a life for themselves. Complicating education, putting one roadblock after another in the path of a child's education through entrance exams, coaching classes, is ensuring that the marginalized are further marginalized from this process. If you think I'm exaggerating, look at the numbers. Between 2019 and 2021, period of 3 years, 35,000 plus students in India died by suicide for various reasons, but several of them due to pressures of exams, coaching classes, not being able to perform, not being able to crack an exam, being completely talented, but just out of fear of not being able to clear a national level exam, say like the NEET. In 2022, 1 year alone, 12,900 plus students died by suicide for various reasons, several of them from Maharashtra. Tamil Nadu saw the second highest rate of student suicide. Most of these students hail from SC, ST, OBC, backward classes communities. Education, a great equalizer, cannot be a level playing field. If children are forced to prepare for entrance exams at every single stage, forcing parents to shell out more money, the money that they don't have to send their children to coaching classes, and those left out perpetually living in fear of not being able to perform to their best. India is a varied country, it's dynamic. We have such diverse pool of talent. Different children have different things to offer. No central authority, no single association can say that one rule fits all can be the norm. This is exactly why state governments are perhaps better equipped to acknowledge and react, respond effectively to the needs of their students. Perhaps it is now time to shift education from the concurrent list to the state list in the welfare of students. Unless centralization and quelling of all state autonomy is the intent. Thank you for watching State of Play. Do stay tuned every week on South First.